Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies. The European Commission is very happy to be able to participate in this meeting. Unfortunately, the person that was supposed to come got sick, and then I was told that we absolutely had to come here to this meeting because we are ourselves at this moment really looking into the details of country-by-country reporting for the European Union. So for us, this is not only the opportunity to brief you a little bit on where we're standing, it's also an opportunity a little bit to listen to you, to see what's happening in Norway. Norway has always been a country that has been very much at the avant-garde of resource transparency. Norway is, for instance, a country that's implementing the EITI, compliant with the EITI. Norway has been also very much very important in showing the link between tax havens and capital flight. And I was part of the team that in the Commission drafted the communication on tax and development, and we were very happy to receive a report from the Commission on tax havens and development that was prepared in 2009 by Norway. And when I say Norway, I don't mean only the government, I mean the civil society, I mean also investors here. So we can see basically that you are also living this transparency and accountability in Norway, and that is something that we very much appreciate. And we believe also that the Commission is transparent, and that's why we would like to present you a little bit what's happening at the level of the Commission. However, I must say that no policy decision has been taken until now, so it will be very difficult for me to tell you exactly what we're going to do. But I can tell you what we've done already, where we stand, and possibly what the next steps could be and could look like. As you know, the European Commission is currently assessing the feasibility of introducing country-by-country reporting into EU legislation. Work is therefore has begun. We have had a public consultation this winter. We are now currently assessing the impact. So the impact means the costs, but also the benefits, and that's very important. And we are working also with EFRAG, which is the European Financial Reporting Advisory Group. A decision on country-by-country reporting is expected to be taken in autumn 2011. The Commission is going to make a proposal, and then we have a co-decision procedure, Council and Parliament. So the opinion of EU member states will be crucial. And as you know, some EU member states have gone public on country-by-country reporting. France and the UK have been supportive of country-by-country reporting for the extractive industries. The European Commission has also been promoting country-by-country reporting at the level of the G8. We have tabled a proposal to explore the possibility of having an international approach at the level of G8, G20 on country-by-country reporting in a working group on Africa. As you know, currently companies in the EU are not obliged to present their accounts on a country-by-country basis, but I think it's very important that we also acknowledge that the accounting directive already requires limited liability companies to disclose the subsidiaries and control entities, and that we are also, that we in the Transparency Directive also encourage country-by-country reporting for the extractive sector. However, no member state has included any binding mechanism on that. So how is the European Commission approaching country-by-country reporting? Country-by-country reporting is part of our policy coherence for development agenda, and that's not a new agenda. We have been working on country-by-country reporting since more than a year. So before Dodd-Frank Act was passed in the US, we're mentioning country-by-country reporting in the Communication on Tax and Development, in the Raw Materials Initiative, and in the Work Plan on Policy Coherence for Development. So what do we mean when we talk about policy coherence for development? Is that we believe that for development, we have to look beyond aid. We have to look at not only at money that's given to support developing countries, but it's also to look at regulatory issues at the European level that can have an impact on development. And what we're seeing now is that it's increasingly being acknowledged that accounting issues have an impact on developing countries' ability to address corruption and to mobilize domestic revenues. lacking transparency has devastating consequences. I think we all agree on that. And it's not tolerable that resource-rich countries continue to be poor. And also what we see is that the lack of transparency is shaping inequalities in developing countries. So we believe that financial transparency matters mainly for three reasons. So the first one would be to enhance government accountability, to address corruption in resource-rich countries, to improve good governance. And I'm not going to go into the details of that. The second point, we think, it's that it can matter also for domestic resource mobilization in developing countries. We believe that domestic resource mobilization is as important, or even more important than aid. It's much more important than aid, because it's the most sustainable way to fund public policies. And we believe that multinational companies are among the most important taxpayers in developing countries, and that it's absolutely crucial that developing countries unleash the full potential of revenues from multinational companies, and that we help them to address international issues such as tax avoidance and tax evasion. And then there's one other aspect, because we very often put country-by-country reporting into relation with tax avoidance. We sometimes tend to forget the other aspect that's really typical for extractive industries is tax expenditures. These agreements that are signed and which are often kept secret between governments and multinational companies. It is also important to see that country-by-country reporting, which if it would require the disclosure of the additional data, such as sales and profits, could probably help developing country civil societies to question costly tax expenditures. However, as I said, such a requirement that would address taxation would also be more demanding than the current country-by-country reporting that has been proposed by France or the UK, or that has been at least supported by France and the UK. And the third aspect, we've referred it also already, is the impact of country-by-country reporting on the investment climate. It would make developing countries more predictable, and it would make investment decisions easier. It would enable investors to better assess reputational and policy risks. So we see strong benefits potentially in country-by-country reporting, but as a result of our public consultation, we also see that country-by-country reporting comes with some costs. Maybe I'll give you a short overview on this public consultation, which has been undertaken in winter. It's a public consultation, so you can have access to all the replies from the 75 stakeholders that participated in this public consultation. Most of them were companies or company associations. We also had some governments participating, but very few governments, and many civil society organizations, about 20 that participated in this public consultation. And what we see is that basically most companies would be reluctant, and most NGOs and end users of reports would be in favor of country-by-country reporting. So we see also that when we look into the detail of the public consultations, that country-by-country reporting for the extractive sector and on revenue payments, along with the Dodd-Frank Act, would be probably more supported by companies than any other country-by-country reporting requirement. This is very much linked to the issue of costs. We can see the costs there's one financial cost, obviously, is the administrative costs in implementing country-by-country reporting, so restructuring the accounting systems, information systems. This cost depends very much on the detail of disclosure, but it depends also on the amount of subsidiaries a company has. And it depends also very much on whether the information has to be audited or not. The second type of cost, I mean, we should probably not call it a cost, is the impact on competitiveness. We see that when it comes to competitiveness, many companies believe that a very demanding country-by-country reporting requirement could have a huge impact on their competitiveness towards companies that are not required to disclose the same type of data. But we also see that 15 companies are already listed in the EU, in the United States. So 15 of the bigger EU extractive industry companies are listed in the US, and these so introducing a similar requirement in the EU would basically help to create a level playing field at the level of the European Union for all European companies. So what are the options? So we can roughly identify 3 options. One would be not to do anything, to say we are already having the requirements that we need, and probably and the costs would be higher than the benefits. This is a very unlikely option because of the strong momentum we have right now behind country-by-country reporting at the level of some member states, at the level of the European Parliament, and also because we have been working a lot with civil society organizations on these issues. The second option is basically introducing a requirement similar to the Dodd-Frank Act, and possibly extending this also to some other sectors. For instance, the forestry sector, which are also very prone to corruption. This would create a level playing field with the US. It would promote government accountability, and it would also strengthen the ITI. It is also likely that costs for businesses would be very limited. However, this would not meet the expectations of Parliament. So the European Parliament has adopted a resolution in March, I think it was the 7th or 8th of March 2011, requesting country-by-country reporting to include as well figures on profits and sales, in order to also address the issue of tax evasion and avoidance. We're also looking at this option. We believe that it is important. It is an important issue. However, it is less likely that the EU will legislate on this at the European level only. It is probably an issue that is better tackled at international level. So this is basically where we're standing now. Discussions are still going on, and yeah, thank you very much for your attention. And obviously, if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But please understand that this is work in progress. Thank you.